Ever heard of an idiophone musical instrument maker?
Not exactly a common dinner table topic, right?
Yeah, me neither, until today.
Well, get ready to expand your musical horizons.
Because we're diving deep into a career path that's, well, way more interesting than it sounds.
Definitely one of those hidden gems, you know.
Okay, so first things first. For those of us who haven't brushed up on our musical instrument classifications lately, what exactly is an idiophone? I'm assuming it's got to be more exciting than just like an instrument that makes sound.
Think about it this way. Instruments where the sound comes directly from the material vibrating. Xylophones, triangles, cymbals. Heck, even a cowbell at a metal show.
So we're talking everything from a delicate glass harmonica to a heavy metal gong.
That's the beauty of it, right?
That's a pretty wild range of materials and sounds to master.
Absolutely. And our friends at RoleCatcher.com, it's a career development platform, they've provided some really fascinating insights into what it takes to not just make these instruments, but to actually build a career out of it, which, it's not always the same thing.
And that's what I find so intriguing, right? We're not just talking about the craft itself, but the business savvy, the customer interaction, even the role technology plays in this seemingly traditional field. I mean, it's not like you picture a robot hammering out a Tibetan singing bowl.
Yeah,
Right?
and that's where some of our assumptions might be challenged.
Yeah.
Because you picture a solitary craftsperson, right? Like an old artisan, alone in their workshop.
Surrounded by wood shavings and like mystical tools.
Exactly. But RoleCatcher highlights how important customer personal service is in this field. They actually give it a 61% importance rating.
Wow, 61%, that's huge. I mean, I get that a musician might have, preferences, but I wouldn't think customer service would be that crucial for someone literally building instruments. Tell me more about that dynamic.
It's all about collaboration. Imagine, commissioning a custom xylophone.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just, hand over a blueprint and say, make
Likewise
this.
with some sound.
Yeah. You'd want to discuss the type of wood, the tonal qualities you're looking for, even just the feel of the instrument in your hands. It's a true partnership to, really bring a musical vision to life.
So it's almost like being a sound therapist. You're not just building an instrument, but you're helping a musician find their perfect voice, which is kind of cool when you think about it.
And this need for bespoke craftsmanship, it actually ties into another surprising trend that RoleCatcher pointed out. Despite the rise of mass production, the demand for handcrafted instruments, it's actually increasing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. You'd think in our world of instant gratification, mass-produced everything, that this specialized, handcrafted kind of thing would be fading away. What's driving that demand, do you think?
It seems like it's part of a larger cultural shift. People are craving those unique, personalized experiences.
Things with a story.
Right. A connection to the maker. They don't want an instrument. They want their instrument.
It's like the slow food movement, but for music.
Ooh, I like that.
Makes you wonder if those mass-produced instruments are slowly becoming the fast food equivalent, convenient, but maybe lacking that handcrafted soul.
I love that analogy. And it speaks to how idiophone instrument making is, evolving with the times. It's not just about preserving tradition. It's about blending that craftsmanship with, modern demands.
Yeah.
Technology.
Speaking of, RoleCatcher breaks down this career path into 3 distinct stages: entry level, junior, and senior. It's almost like leveling up in a video game, right?
It really is.
Gotta catch them all. So at the entry level, you're basically the rookie, right? Still learning the ropes.
And what I found fascinating is that they don't just, list job duties. They provide example profiles for each stage.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
It's one thing to read like a dry job description, but hearing from someone actually living the career,
Humanizes it.
it makes it so much more relatable. What stood out to you from those profiles?
Well, the entry-level profile, it was full of youthful energy and a hunger to learn. They talked about dedicating themselves to honing their skills and being eager to learn from experienced senior makers. So it really highlighted the importance of mentorship in this field.
That makes sense, right? You're not just churning out widgets on an assembly line. You're inheriting a legacy of craftsmanship, a respect for the materials, the techniques that have been passed down for generations, which is pretty cool.
Precisely. And that's where the junior maker comes in. So
Yeah.
they've, moved beyond just absorbing knowledge. They're starting to apply
But
it.
they're not just following instructions anymore. They're starting to improvise.
Exactly. Putting their own spin on things.
Ooh, getting dangerous.
Yeah. The junior maker profile talked about gaining valuable experience and developing a deeper understanding of different materials and their acoustic properties. So it's that crucial stage where you go from apprentice to artisan
It's like graduating from playing scales to composing your own music, which is,
That's a good way to put it.
I'm guessing our senior maker is conducting the whole orchestra at this point.
Absolutely. So they've reached like the pinnacle of their craft. They're developing and implementing innovative techniques, training and mentoring junior makers, and even, get this, collaborating with designers and engineers to push the boundaries of instrument design.
Wow, that's impressive. So we've got this fascinating blend of artistry, technical skill, customer interaction, but RoleCatcher also mentions some unexpected skills as being crucial for success in this field.
You do.
Right.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? So we're talking about some seriously cool stuff here.
Okay, lay it on me. What are these unexpected skills that RoleCatcher highlights for our aspiring idiophone makers?
Well, get this mechanical knowledge. It's right up there with customer service.
No way.
Yeah. A whopping 61% importance rating.
So we're not just talking about like knowing how to use a saw. We're talking about like understanding how the tools themselves impact the final sound.
Exactly. Think about the precision needed to like tune an instrument, the way different metals resonate, the impact of wood density on sound. It's wild.
It's like being a musical engineer almost, understanding like the physics of sound as much as like the art of crafting it, right?
100%. And then, if that wasn't enough, RoleCatcher, they also throw fine arts into the mix.
Okay, now I can see how like a musical ear helps, obviously, but how does a broader understanding of fine arts come into play when you're like literally shaping sound? I don't get it.
Because it's about the artistry of the whole process, from start to finish. Understanding aesthetics, proportion, even like historical context, all of these things influence an instrument maker's design choices, right?
So you might be able to build like a perfectly functional xylophone, but can you build one that's also, beautiful, resonant, visually
Right.
inspiring?
Exactly. It's that extra layer, elevates craft to art. And here's another one. RoleCatcher emphasizes the importance of administrative skills in this field.
Wait, seriously, paperwork and spreadsheets?
I know, I know.
In a world of chisels and tuning forks, come on.
It sounds crazy, but it makes sense when you think about it. Especially if you're running your own business, which, a lot of idiophone makers do.
Yeah.
You've got to manage orders, track expenses, market your work, the whole 9 yards.
I guess even artists got to make rent, right?
It's the sad reality.
It's a good reminder that even like the most creative, fulfilling careers, they often involve some less than glamorous tasks.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But speaking of blending art and technology, let's talk about AI. Because RoleCatcher is really big on using tech for career development, and I'm curious to see how that applies to something as like seemingly traditional as instrument making.
And this is where it gets like really futuristic. RoleCatcher talks about how AI could like revolutionize the craft itself. Imagine an apprentice using AI to analyze the acoustics of different wood types, finding like the perfect combination for a specific sound.
Oh, wow. That's like next level stuff.
Right. It could dramatically shorten the learning curve.
That's incredible. It's like having like a digital mentor
Right.
helping you understand the science behind the sound, and not just for apprentices, right? I imagine AI could help even like seasoned makers to experiment with new materials, new sounds, push the
believe you.
boundaries even further.
Oh, absolutely. Or imagine AI helping makers connect with potential clients all over the world. Suddenly, you're not limited to like local orchestras or musicians. You could be crafting like a custom steel drum for a band in Brazil, all thanks to AI.
It's like AI is breaking down these geographical barriers, and it's creating this like global marketplace for something so niche and specialized. That's really cool. But of course, it's not all, harmonious melodies and endless possibilities. RoleCatcher does mention some challenges facing idiophone makers.
Right. They mentioned limited job opportunities, which makes sense, I guess. It's such specialized work.
Right.
And then there's always competition from those mass-produced instruments. Cheaper, maybe,
Yeah.
but they often lack that handcrafted soul,
It's like the classic struggle, right? Art versus commerce, tradition versus technology.
Exactly.
But knowing all we know now, the skills, the trends, the potential of AI, what does this all mean for someone who actually wants to pursue this? What does the future hold?
That's the million-dollar question.
Sure.
And it's not like a one-size-fits-all answer,
Of course.
But I think if we connect all these threads, the desire for unique experiences, the blend of craft and technology, I think there's a real opportunity here for idiophone makers to redefine what it means to be an instrument maker.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this. So not just building instruments, but becoming like sonic architects, collaborating with musicians to create instruments for specific purposes, performances, maybe even genres?
Precisely. Imagine an idiophone maker working with a film composer to create an entirely new instrument,
Mm.
perfectly suited for the soundscape they're trying to create. Or
Mm.
like a percussionist wanting an instrument tailored to their unique playing style.
Right.
That level of hyper-personalization, it's a game changer.
Talk about a niche market. But
Right.
then with AI helping them connect with that global audience we talked about, suddenly you've got a sustainable business model. Instead of competing with those mass-produced instruments, they're in a league of their own.
Exactly. It's about leveraging technology, not being threatened by it.
Right, right.
Using AI for those administrative tasks, for marketing even, like optimizing the craft itself. It frees up the maker to focus on what they do best,
Yeah.
creating those one-of-a-kind experiences.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like we went from like, what even is an idiophone, to this career path is like on the verge of a renaissance. So for everyone listening, what's like the lingering note that we want to leave you with today?
It's this, the next time you hear an idiophone, whether it's a bell or a marimba or anything in between, remember the artistry,
Yeah.
and the unexpected skills that go into making those sounds. Don't just appreciate the music, appreciate the maker.
It's like we're talking about like the sonic equivalent of a bespoke suit,
Mm-hmm.
perfectly tailored to the musician and their music. I love that. But how does this like handcrafted approach, how does it compete with the, affordability, the accessibility of those mass-produced instruments?
That's where those innovative business models come in. Like imagine a world where like an AI assistant helps these independent makers manage like their orders, market their unique skills, even connect them with musicians like halfway across the globe.
So instead of being limited to like their local area, their local network, they're suddenly part of this like global network.
Musicians and instrument makers.
Wow. All brought together by a shared passion for like that bespoke sound. That's amazing.
Exactly. It's about using technology to empower the craft,
Mm.
not replace it.
Right.
And when you think about that increasing demand for like unique handcrafted experiences, it seems like the future of idiophone making is anything but silent.
It's almost like we're witnessing like a renaissance of this like ancient art form where tradition meets technology and it's creating something totally new. It's inspiring.
It really is. And it just goes to show that sometimes like those most unexpected career paths are the ones that are like filled with the most passion, the most innovation, and of course, incredible sound.
This deep dive has definitely struck a chord with me, and I hope it has for all of you listening too. So the next time you hear the sound of an idiophone, a bell, a marimba, whatever it may be, take a moment to like really appreciate the artistry, the skill, the collaboration that went into crafting that unique voice. You never know. You might just be inspired to like seek out your own sonic adventure, whether it's learning to play a new instrument or just like exploring the world of sound with like fresh ears.
That's what we love about these deep dives. You never know where they might lead.